Gregg from the Authentic Shaolin Kung Fu School, here with my partner, Shifu Gregg. Coming in on a different angle today. Today we're going to be working with the understandings of gloves, freestyle fighting, not putting together forms and doing your Kung Fu sets and thinking that's sparring, because that's not sparring. That's just a demonstration, that's just a show. So what we need to do as Kung Fu stylists, as martial artists in general, is freestyle fighting. Now, a lot of people think that because the Kung Fu stylists, and this is a double-edged sword, Kung Fu stylists, they wear gloves, all they're doing is kickboxing. And you hear it all the time. Well, when people say that, they're not really looking at what's happening in the fight. They don't see the martial application behind it. If you're not practicing your martial techniques, even with your gloves on, a punch is a punch, a kick is a kick in any different style, in any style in the world. A punch is a punch, a kick is a kick. The thing that differentiates that is the layers of your techniques. So if I'm doing my drunken style, I can apply my drunken, which we're going to do in a couple minutes. I'm going to show you applying the drunken techniques to boxing, to actual fighting, to actual Kung Fu fighting, to sparring, freestyle fighting, Sanda, whatever you want to call it. But you're going to see the martial applications that can be applied. If you're not applying your techniques, you're not doing your martial art justice, period. So here we go. I'm going to bring Shifu in now, Shifu Lloyd, and we're going to go over some of the techniques. And we're going to wear the gloves. So the first layer, the first understanding of layer of sparring is if I'm throwing my jabs, he throws his jabs, I'm going to work my techniques just like I normally would. Feet are on a 45. If my opponent throws, I'm going to move on a 45. I want to take my opponent here. I want to take knees. I want to come in. I want to do damage to my opponent. So if we're working a technique, and I come in here and he throws the technique, I can slip the technique here, strike my opponent. If I throw my technique and he throws and I move this way, I'm just moving and slipping. If I apply my drunken, I can apply the drunken by moving my body. If he throws his technique, I can apply my drunken, I can move. If he throws his technique, I can apply my drunken and move. So there's lots of stuff that we're doing here. So when he throws his 1, 2, 3, I'm applying my drunken technique here, bringing my opponent down and striking my opponent. So again, we'll stick with the 1, 2, 3 because it makes it a little easier. So as my opponent throws, I'm already moving into my drunken and tipping the flask back to bring my opponent to the floor. So I'm going to be setting up the technique. So I'm going to launch out my jab to set the technique. I'm going to launch out my jab to set the technique. He throws. I come in here, bring my opponent to the floor, strike my opponent, putting my knees down here, and being able to strike my opponent and be able to protect myself and utilize that drunken movement. Another drunken movement, if my opponent throws from guard stance, he throws a 1, 2, and he goes to hit, and I slip the technique here. I'm turning my body and rotating my body into a twisting, serving the master technique. So again, from the 1, 2, I'm going to roll it. I'm going to have him throw that technique so he can slip from here, elbows, and striking my opponent. So I set up for that jab. He throws, roll in, and striking my opponent right here. So we're utilizing our techniques in sparring. So one more time, I set up, I roll, strike. I'm striking my opponent here. Boom, striking my opponent. 1, 2, coming into my movement. Just because I'm doing drunken, it doesn't mean I have to stand like this and be drunk all the time. I can show that I'm exhausted. If I'm sparring with my opponent and it looks like I'm tired and he goes to throw that technique and I get out of the way and hit my opponent, all of a sudden I'm utilizing my drunken. I'm fooling my opponent into not knowing what's going to happen next so that I can make my strikes important. So that's pretty much it. So again, with the drunken techniques, with everything that we're utilizing, just because you have gloves on doesn't mean you can't apply your techniques. Be martially effective with whatever you do. And just remember, train hard, live harder, and always just remember to always practice what you preach. And if you're gonna do your freestyle fighting, make sure you apply your techniques. It's so, so important. Also, we gotta make sure that we're going to subscribe. And thanks so much. Have a good week. Hey, so this is what we're going to be doing next week, the iconic broadsword, all right? Just because we use weapons doesn't mean we're going to be walking down the streets with the weapons. Anything that we do with weapons, we should be able to do with open hand techniques. So when we learn our weapon techniques, we're learning specific movements that should be correlated and be able to be worked applicably with open hand techniques. So here we go. One more time. Strike. Come down. Other than that, we'll see you next week.